wait, we can't use the song anymore, Shorty, can we?
No, it's the other song we can't use. I can still use this
Oh,
one.
okay.
But I felt like it was a little inappropriate.
Yeah, but we still got to open, the same way that we normally do.
All right.
Hey, it's the Radio Shorty podcast with DJ Hi Kevin, and we have two awesome guests, the leaders of the Daft Punks. This is Drew Pierce and Mr. Fusemania. What's up, boys?
What's up?
I giggle every time about the Daft Punks thing because you guys just had that shit dropped right in your lap, and it's so perfect. And I envy it.
I love it.
It was so absurd. I think I threw it out. I don't even know. I just think I texted it to Fuse, and it's just like amazing. But we're bringing a new one, and it just we're polling out there. All the ladies that kind of sort of but don't really listen are going to be possibly Daphne's. It's a work in progress.
Ooh, I just got goosebumps a little bit, man.
I like
shout out to my mom and Drew's wife, the ladies that listen.
Hell yeah. Right, because anytime that you're even in the DJ world, 98% of your audience is instantly dudes.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys obviously we all host podcasts, and I don't know if you guys keep up with stats of as far as who's listening to the podcast or whatever. And I looked at ours, I think a couple nights ago, just to see. It was 82% male, and then whatever the rest of that mathematically was female. And I was like, okay, all right, a bunch of dudes listening, love it, got it. Which I kind of like. It's like the boys club,
Yeah, sure. We love our girls, but it's really nice to hang out with the boys sometimes, right?
Kevin, you want to start out the show, obviously, with something that is close and near and dear to your heart here before we get into talking with Drew and Fuse, some news in the DJ community.
Yeah, definitely in the mobile wedding DJ world. We have a very close friend, the Tony Prefontaine, who was originally a New York guy, moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and now has been working for La Force Entertainment. Just a heavy heart for all of us for him with the loss of his mother, who is at such a young age. Beautiful woman. Tony has so much energy, and we love the kid. He's really one of the nicest people that I've ever met. And just loves the people around him, and we just you're definitely in our prayers, my man. Not really one for praying, but you start to feel for you, man. We love you in this community, and the energy that you bring, and like really the start of the whole next generation of mobile DJs and stuff. So we are actually Nate Nelson gave me a call earlier today, and we're going to be doing a little bit of Twitch Raid Train fundraiser type thing actually tonight. So, I mean, obviously this recording will be out after it. So if you tuned in, then thank you so much for your support for the kid. We're just really trying to show his Venmo link and send the kid as much as he can, because he's going to be off for 3 weeks. And then, of course, some unexpected financial situations for Tony and his entire family, which, his dad and his sister still, dealing with all of this. So,
yeah, I saw he created actually a Spotify playlist for his mom and like their favorite songs and that sort of thing. So,
so Nate's going to be doing a tribute with that playlist, I believe, like pulling some of those songs and bring it together.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's not to like dwell on the whole thing, but Tony, we love you, bro.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Our guests today are somebody who obviously I think Kevin, you and I both admire. I got to see them. I get to meet them for the first time at Mex in Vegas, and so I hung out with you guys a little bit, and then I get to watch both of you DJ, almost dual DJ together. And I walked out of that room, and I went, "I'm the shittiest DJ on the face of the fucking planet," because you guys
doubt that.
You guys, man,
I doubt that.
Bro,
I doubt that.
First off, like, not only were you guys like dual DJing, like you guys would Drew would DJ one song and then Fuse would come and play another song. You guys looked like you were just chilling, just no big deal, just like looking at the crowd. They were throwing out Fuse or Drew and Fuse podcast stickers to the audience like it was no big deal.
Genius.
You made it look like it was nothing. I want to say that you guys were obviously you two and Scooter, and I think Arlie. If you had to say who were the best that you watched, you two were in that group. I have a billion questions.
Well, I would love to just defunct everything you just said.
Yeah,
We
I
were-
think the whole goal was just to not look like two wieners on stage.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
and
that
it
was like our sole goal. Like,
and I think we played like honestly we played maybe 2 songs and I looked at him and I'm like, bro, these are too long. Like we were like shitting our pants, like holy fuck. It just felt like an eternity. It was a fucking tough room. Sorry if
Was
I
it 20
are we
minutes, right?
cussing? Are we cussing? Or are
we don't
blocking
fucking care.
cussing?
we
You
played
cuss.
Cuss
we
away,
played
bro.
a-
Cuss.
we
Yeah,
played
yeah.
an hour, and we prepped probably. We
2
probably
hours
prepped
before?
Yeah, well, 2 hours before, and we only probably prepped 40, like the first 40 minutes of the set. And I know that in the first 40 minutes of the set, we had like 55 to 60 edits in just the first 40 minutes of the set. And what I'll also say is like the first 2 or 3 songs, like Drew said, were the longest songs we played. So,
Actually, I think it was like song number 10 by the time the audience cracked and was like, "Oh, let's do
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
We can move. We don't have to stand here like we're crazy people."
Yeah,
Mhm.
that always seems to be when you have DJs on stage in front of a room full of DJs. It's sort of just like like everybody's literally just taking fucking notes,
It's
man.
this. They're going, impress me.
Yes.
Do something I'm going to think is
Show
cool.
me you're better than
Yeah.
me.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I think I actually liked the fact that the photo booth convention was there as well. So there were females that were in the audience where I've gone to other DJ conventions. And it is again, we talked about our demo as far as our podcast and who's listening, and it is an 80% like kind of male ratio. So we're not going to be like grinding with each other. And if you are, more power to you. Not going to lie, got a little tipsy and I was grinding with Arlie. So whatever. But I can't imagine like that being a little bit of not only you're DJing on stage in Las Vegas, but you also now are surrounded by a million other DJs that are critiquing you. Some that have no right to be, and then some obviously like Scooter, and there's other people in the room that I'm sure that you guys also look up to. While you were on stage, you were DJing at Mex. Like, I mean, you guys said you were shitting your pants, and like it was actually a kind of this nervous thing. You guys didn't seem like you were nervous at all. Is this something you guys do often, dual DJing together? Like, is this something you guys do
Never.
together?
No,
That was
that's
the
why
first time.
That's why the
Really?
beginning half was prepped because it was more of like, okay, well, I like this, and Fuse is like, well, I like this, and so we're just trying to blend it together and make it work. But we had some of the DMS owners were there, Kevin Scott and Warren Peace, and it's like, well, as long as I can impress those two, I'll walk away a happy man, and everybody else just will fall into place. And so, the set idea was really, as hard as this is to say, it's kind of a showcase in a way. It's you kind of have to piss some people off a little bit, right? We worked in some oldies into some super hard trap stuff, and I understand it's not like a part. It was a party set, but not like a specific party set. If I was standing on stage and I was getting paid to DJ in Vegas,
Yeah.
but you're playing to DJs. They want to be impressed, just like you said. So if you just go and do Usher, yeah, this is how we do it, party up, then it's a wrap.
your favorite. It's your favorite.
Yeah, it's my jams,
Uh,
bro. Hey, I play the
think
shit out of
Drew-
those. I play the shit out of those songs. It is nothing about not playing those, but don't in a room full of 500 DJs, don't play those fucking songs.
Yeah, and definitely
I
don't put a mix out on Mixcloud that has them in that order. Like, fucking just don't. Like,
Hold on. Deletes my Mixcloud. I'm just kidding.
I think it was good for both of us though, because we both knew, okay, there's going to be a lot of DJs there, but there is going to be that photo booth presence. So we would know, we would do a few things for the DJs, then a few like just normal songs, normal
Yeah.
popular songs that are hitting at the moment, So it was kind of that happy balance of a little bit of both, and I think that having both of us being able to play at once, and then we, like Drew said, we prepped maybe like at the most 2 hours before, and we were both. He would be like, "What about this?" And I'd be like, "Okay," and I'd be like, "Well, what about this?" And he'd be like, "I don't know about that one." And then it was just like a good discussion of what we're actually going to do, and I think that's why once we started doing it, I was like, "We know what we're doing. Just be confident, and this is going to be fine," But also, it, like he was like, once we get going, our DJ brains will kick in and we'll just start doing what we normally do. And that's kind of why we
Sure.
left the last bit of the set like kind of freestyle too.
Yeah.
Whose idea was this to go, hey, here's a cool idea, let's both DJ together in Vegas? Who came up with this?
Actually, Chi-Town Shanny we were just talking. Um, I was trying to just beg her for a floor pass, and next thing I know, we're talking forever, and she's like, "Well, why don't you play with me?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't even know what's going on." So, we're just building the podcast. We're trying to get going. He had just been out into town and was like, "Hey, I'm not going to stand up there by myself. Might as well have Fuse up there and at least try and do a little promo, right?" So, as DJs, as entrepreneurs, basically you're always promoting, right? Always advertising, always hyping up something. And this is our newest project, and I don't got nothing else to, I don't have any wedding clients there. So if I'm going to impress a bunch of DJs, it's like I'm going to push the show. That was pretty much the idea behind it.
Yeah, you gave me a lot of ideas coming back to South Carolina with because you guys have your stickers with your Drew and Fuse stickers. On the back of it has a QR code, so all you have to do is like open up your camera and click, and boom, you're in the show. With the podcast, and again, oh, by the way, we have a drinking game on the show. Kevin can tell you. Every time I say I used to work in radio or I got fired in radio, we all take a drink. Or if I say, well, I saw Scooter, but DJ Demand never introduced me to Scooter, you take a drink. But I'll say here, obviously, like being in the radio industry for as long as I was, and even in us as in radio, we were like, podcast, this is a fad. There were corporate guys that think like that or thought like that. What made you guys go, okay, well, let's do a podcast together? Like, where did this idea come from?
You want to take out Fuse?
Well, me and Drew had been talking about it for a long time. And I think we were in Atlantic City last year for
DJX,
whatever that one's called.
Expo.
Yeah, Expo. Yeah.
There's so many anymore. I can't keep it straight. But so, and I was like, fuck it, dude. Like, we just need to stop talking and just physically do. And, because Drew is and I'm the same way a little bit, but Drew more so than me, wants everything to be like perfect out of the gate. And I'm like, it's not going to be perfect. We're just going to do it. And we're continue to learn and grow. And, unless you're doing it, it doesn't matter anyway. So we basically came back, and I think that week we recorded the first one, and that was, kind of how it started. But there was talks of doing it, and I'm like, we don't need to do anything special other than what we do on the phone once a week. Like, and
dude,
and
literally
what started it.
Yeah, we got started in like that similar organic way. When Shorty was on the radio, I was telling dad jokes on my Twitch stream.
Take a drink.
And yeah, go ahead. You don't need to. Oh, right. Yeah, sure. Okay, drinking. So
I got fired from radio in case nobody knew. Okay.
A lot of people did, bro. It's okay.
Yeah,
we all did.
Yeah.
I was one of the people that signed the petition to get you off.
I fucking knew it. This fucking guy, replace him with Seacrest. Come on,
bro. This is the YouTube clip. Is Drew Pierce gets Radio Shorty fired from? But yeah, so I mean, like, I started telling dad jokes with Shorty when he was on the air. We would do Dad Joke Thursdays, and then he put out his podcast after, like, taking his hiatus. And I just was like, dude, that sounds awesome. And he was like, do it with me. And we would literally talk on the phone, FaceTime, like once a week, and it would just be like 30 minutes. When the conversation can take 5 minutes, but it ends up taking like 45 minutes, and you're just giggling the whole time like little schoolboys. Like that's just what it ended up being. And this just felt right, just having the conversation. And honestly, like, there's not enough content out there of DJs getting interviewed. Nobody's doing this.
Well, I think when I did get canned, I just, in my head, I go, I'm just going to take a break from everything. I don't want to be on social media. I don't want to be on any type of radio. I don't want to do any type of media. And then Nick Spinelli, obviously, his show has been out for a while, and he does a phenomenal job. I would
Yep.
say probably better than the guy who was in the media industry for a very long time and should know how to structure a show. Nick does a phenomenal job at it. And I looked at it, I was like, well, I mean, he's already doing it. Why would I need to do that? And so I came to Kevin and I said, well, what if we did a podcast where, yeah, maybe we talk about some DJ stuff, but maybe we add in just some random, almost a variety show where like today, Kevin has this bit. What's the bit you have today?
It's we're gonna play what the wish is that. Where basically you guys have been on Facebook and you've seen like the Wish app advertisements where they just show you something that's such clickbait. I actually accidentally got like 20 photos. I only have 6 ready for today. We'll see how far we get, but like there's just
Mine had a
they're
butt
insane.
plug with a tail, and I
Dude.
felt really targeted.
I
Especially after all the fisting comments that were made in the chat.
Because we
Dude,
all
when
know
it-
Fuse doesn't need the tail.
Tail's just a bonus, dude.
Oh my god, the amount of as I was looking for these ads because the ads stopped popping up eventually. I had to go to like Google image search and probably like 3/4 of them are butt plugs. And the stuff that you'll see on there, like you'll have to watch the videos for all of them as we get down the line because this is gonna be a long segment. This shit's not gonna end, man.
All
But
right, bring it.
from let's play. You want to play right now? Let's go.
Do you want to? Let's do it.
I mean, we got to hit it right away, right? So, the first one is if you guys full screen me, then you'll see. So this is literally one of the advertisements. And
What
if
is
I
that?
can,
Is that a
exactly.
baby Jesus?
It looks like
It
baby
actually
Jesus.
is. It's a 20 or 30 centimeter resin infant baby Jesus Christ nativity figurine, home decoration, Catholic decoration gifts.
What?
And
I don't know,
ordered
man.
this.
The description. I did not order this. No, I should start to order this stuff though, and do like actual reviews on it.
Actually, who just said that? That's a very, very good idea. We literally buy these products and you get to hold them and figure out what the fuck they are.
I'll have to do that. You guys will have to pick the best one, and then I'll try and see if I can find it on Wish.
It kind of
and then-
makes sense. My mom used to put out nativity scenes like
Yes.
at around Christmas time, and baby Jesus would always go missing. So I feel
yeah.
like
Where would he go?
I think
Well,
like
if-
the dogs would get. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
chew toys, or honestly, I think it would just be hilarious if every single year you stole your mom's baby Jesus, and then she had to get like a new one every single year. That'd be great. And then
Good
at
thing
that
for
point,
Wish.
yeah, good thing for Wish. You can get them super affordable,
All right,
and
all right.
and
So
replace them.
as a hater of Christmas too early, dude, we're in April. Come on, stop. That should not be even advertised at the moment.
Jesus,
Not
is
even like-
important
not
year
even
round,
like-
Drew.
No, and more no's. I'm sorry,
Drew.
I don't care. No one likes Easter either. Stop. This is
No,
Drew,
fuck Easter, man.
During the pandemic, obviously, like nobody was listening to the radio in their cars, and so they were trying to come up with ways for people to listen. And you're talking about Christmas too early. We had a hot AC station that in December would always flip to Christmas. And so they were like, well, we need people to listen. And so the July 4th weekend, they flipped to Christmas for the entire weekend. We just played Christmas music the entire weekend. True story.
This is why I started the position to. This is why I
Petition to get
started the
you-
petition
to get
to
you
get you
fired.
fired. It's because there was Christmas. I was like, every time I tuned in, I was like, fire Shorty. This is a wrap.
Fire this guy. Fuck
Fire
this guy.
this
He
guy,
loves
dude.
Christmas.
He loves Christmas in
Um,
July.
What
Punk.
the wish is that? Do we have a second? What the wish is that product?
Of course, I told you I got 6 ready. I got 6 of these babies ready.
Dude,
What is this?
doggy panties.
Doggy
on.
panties. Now, so let's talk on this a little bit. Obviously dogs can go to the bathroom outside. I was sort of just very intrigued by this whole thing, but luckily there was a comment below, and it reads, that female dogs have periods, right? So these are
Wow.
dog period panties for $2 that you
Which-
can obviously get in multiple sizes. You can go from
This
your
one makes me
large-
feel weird.
I'm only getting started, man.
I love
And it's
Fuse
only
said that
$2.
this. I love Fuse said this makes him feel weird and not the butt plug with the like fur coming out of the back of it.
That's kind of
Well,
normal, man.
That just makes sense, that all that really comes together. This is
Hey, here's an
but
idea. Here's an idea.
Four
Train
stars,
your
though, by the
dog
way.
to go outside and pee. There's a genius
Well,
idea.
Dogs have periods. They don't like. They can't control that. Come
Well,
on, man. They
you
don't
know,
make dog tampons.
One, I'm a dog hater, and everybody, it's fine. I hate dogs.
What?
They're awful. Anytime you go to somebody's house with a dog, and you don't pull your dog back when it's trying to sniff my nuts, you got a problem, man. The dog's a jerk at that point. So
maybe your nuts are stinky.
Yeah,
well,
or he
that's
really
a
likes
fact,
you.
but that has nothing to do with anything else. But most of them are always rubbing around on the carpet, right? So I could see having underoos, for to stop from that,
Is there a
Well-
cat version? Is there cat panties for whatever the fuck this is?
I didn't continue to search. I did not continue to search. I started to feel pretty uncomfortable just by
I
seeing
could
a
see
chihuahua.
putting those on your dog if you're like 95 years old and you got a pet dog and you just really can't. You're not like a mobile person, and you can't get to the door all the time to get your dog out, maybe. But if you're like fucking a 25-year-old girl and you have those on your fucking dog, you shouldn't even have a fucking dog.
Yeah. Just let your little chihuahua poop in your purse like every other 25-year-old girl and
you
call it a
imagine?
fucking day.
Hold on, let me go on a quick rant here, real
Please.
quick. I
Yeah.
never get to go on a 60-second
don't.
rant, and
Yeah.
here's a 60-second rant for you.
Take 2 minutes.
Fucking girls that are like just graduated from college and like single, stop buying fucking dogs, okay? Because we get it. You're at that age and you like want to take care of something and you're single and it's like natural, but stop buying a fucking dog because one, it just ruins things. Like I got a girlfriend and I'm not trying to go down this road, but what I'm saying is like if you're like dating a guy and you're sleeping over or whatever, or you're maybe trying to, and then you're like, well, now I have to go home to let out my dog. That's not fucking cool. And two, stop fucking having dogs and then going on like week-long vacations and pawning them off onto people and shit.
Back to what I was just saying, dogs suck. That's why stop with the dogs.
I'll tell you what.
Back to Fuse's point. Yeah, don't get a dog. Get pregnant like every other Southern girl does, right?
That's not what I'm saying either, but
No, I was a dog person growing up. I had 2 golden retrievers, and I loved them, and we took care of them, and I picked up its shit. Like I was the guy that did the harder stuff. But then I got cats, and cats, you can literally leave the house for a week. You just leave like an automatic water feeder, an automatic food thing. Their shit piles up for a little bit, but they'll get over it. And then you deal with the repercussions. Like dogs are incredibly immature compared to cats.
So as
this
a
is
married guy for 15 years, my wife said when we were getting married, and she wanted to have a kid. She goes, "I want a dog." That's like 6 months in, and I was like, "Nope." She goes, "Well, I want a kid then." I said, "Fine." Really?
What?
And I'm like, well, then I'm gonna get stuck with both. I really don't want the fucking dog. At least I can tolerate the kid. I'm gonna have the kid down the road,
Drew, how can you not? I mean, come on. Like, how can you not? That's
stop.
my dog.
Stop.
Look at
That's
my
fine.
dog.
We
Drew,
all make
look at my
choices.
fucking dog.
Yeah, it looks like it's
Hey,
begging
looking
for
at
something.
them's fun.
Wait,
It looks
Drew,
like
what?
it's taking my money.
Begging for money, dude. Yeah.
It's
That's the
begging
other
for
thing,
money
man.
and it's saying stay home and don't go do something fun and spend that money on something else.
Now
I'll tell you, you could put a brand new kitchen in your house and then your fucking dog eats the fucking cabinet.
it literally eats the corner of the cabinet
The-
or
you got-
every
okay,
single
yeah.
handle.
You
know?
you guys suck as being dog parents. That's what it is. It's not that the dog is the
Nah.
fucking dog parent. Dude, spend
Sure,
$500
I'm a
to get
delinquent
your
dog dad. If I had
spend-
one, but I wouldn't get one.
Spend
Yeah, that's just
$500, get your dog trained. My dog, literally, I can put a treat on its head and leave it for the entire afternoon. I come back, the dog's still like, "Can I take the treat yet? What the fuck are we doing here?"
So
That's
that's-
where my
just
dog
rule.
is.
wait. You heard first on this show. Fuse just said it. Delinquent dog dad daft shirts coming out next week.
The only triple D we want to see. Delinquent dog dads.
What the wish is that you can watch it on our YouTube channel. Look at the Radio Shorty or search it and subscribe.
Wait, you guys
on
want one
YouTube.
more? You guys want one more? I prepped 6. Like we
Let-
can do a third one.
let's
I feel
do
like
it.
a
Yeah,
third
do it
one's
again.
kinda
Do all of
necessary.
them. Do all of them.
Yeah,
Do
fuck
it.
it. Let's do all of
Do
them.
'em all.
All right. So this
Oh
one's-
my god. Is that
That's
a
a
wine
must.
nutsack?
It's a wine nut sack. I think they're called decanters. So like you pour the wine into it and then you
Yes.
pour the wine out of it.
Yes.
For some
I gotta
reason.
understand the whole decanter thing.
Wait,
It's not fucking
stop.
1800s
No,
anymore.
Hang
I
on.
will actually somewhat disagree with. I have the dopest decanter of all time. It's a prop in my studio. Hold on, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Drew doesn't
Wow,
have
okay.
a dog, but he's got a decanter. What the fuck is this?
Okay. Look at
Chuck
this. What is
Norris
this?
on a
No.
brick, stone brick decanter, crushing the game. Come on. You
Dude,
pop
Do
I
you
the top.
actually have anything in it though?
No, because it's falling apart.
See?
But it's tight.
Can we? Can you?
put it-
Can
it's
you?
tight.
Can you?
Don't put it past me for putting something in it, though. I could.
Like, you know what's
Can you
what's
hold
cool?
this up to the camera
Come
so people
on.
can see?
It's just the liquor bottle.
Crushing
The liquor
game.
bottles work.
Like I said, it's not. Excuse me, it's not 1800
you have Chuck Norris
anymore.
on your-
the bottle
you have
game
Chuck Norris
is.
on it?
They've really stepped up the bottle game. You don't need
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
decanters anymore.
Yeah, they have a
Yeah,
nutsack.
We all make choices.
This one
I-
is cool. It's cool, but it's more of a like a display piece than like
Sure.
an actual decanter. Maybe that
Here-
nutsack is too.
I
Here's
might
the
get this for my parents.
here's the
Like
thing, though,
honestly.
is that we're making fun of this, but that nutsack wine thing has sold millions. They're making millions of dollars because they got high as a kite one night when, hey, it'd be a good idea. A wine decanter shaped in the form of Fusemania's nuts. Like that's what they, that's what they thought.
Mine are way smaller than that. Though.
Mine don't hold that much wine.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what I will say is, as much as again I boycott Christmas in April, that would be a great what do you call
Christmas
it?
gift.
Elephant
White
elephantitis.
Oh, white elephant.
White
Yeah.
elephantitis of the nuts. That's what we'll call it.
What the
That's
wish
good.
is that Kevin's new feature on the show here. You can
Wait,
actually
Fuse
watch.
wants to do all six. He wants to do
Yeah,
all six.
do 'em.
I know, no, no.
Let's hear it.
so-
Let's see
Okay,
'em.
okay. All right.
So
all
this
right, all right.
this is called promoting the bit you're doing. This is what this is called. What
What is this one?
It's $208.
What
Like
is
gold
it? Is it?
member? It's like
So this
Austin
is-
Powers gold member.
Yeah, yeah. And this is where, like, this is what
Gold.
really got me triggered on this whole thing is that they'll put this advertisement up, right? You'll see this ridiculous thing for $208, and all you'll be able to read is latex rubber gummy ... So you click on the shop now, it takes you to the Wish app, and then you don't get to see this actual advertisement. It just takes you there. And it's just a woman like dress, and I don't know if it's a whole gold thing, you know, like she's
You know
got
who it
little
looks like?
stars on her nipples.
It looks
What's
like
it look
Paris
like?
Hilton.
I thought it was Britney Spears, kind of, but you know,
I
I'm
was-
looking at it. It's only like this big in the corner of my screen.
Right,
so-
right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
yeah.
think it's
So,
Paris Hilton.
Can I make this? Which one are we on? Here we go. Let me.
Maybe somebody will
There you go.
comment in the comments section what it actually
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
All
somebody
sold
let us
everything.
know about the latex rubber gummy.
rubber gummy.
Yeah. Yep.
Is that a
like-
gummy bear costume? Like a yellow
It
gummy
just-
bear?
It looks so gummy. There's plenty more gummy shit, but not yet. This is, I think, like one of the most average advertisements that I've seen. It literally is. Can you wait 15 days for delivery? And it's like a bag of cocaine and a straw.
That is not real.
It's only
For
$3.
And it, well, I mean, it's 50 to 90% off. You know. So off today's trending items. So I guess a fake bag of cocaine is the trending item
Wow.
on Wish, and I feel like that's what a lot of the advertisements are. Is it's always like a bong for $8, or you know, like just some other drug paraphernalia for a ridiculously cheap price.
Well, I feel
I
like you
thought
need to
that
buy
was
them.
Fun Dip.
Fun Dip. Oh, see, that would be a good. Oh man, Fun Dip was like the cocaine for kids, right?
I'm eating sweet tarts right here. That's why I keep eating.
Are you, dude? I'm a little jealous.
I feel like you need to buy them at this point just to make this
Yeah.
really a thing. This is what it looked. This is what it was on the camera or on my phone, and this is what it looks like now.
Hell yeah.
We need to buy these, Kev. We need to figure out.
Well, we definitely need a picture of you in the latex gummy.
The weirder, the better, right?
Do you, okay, so you sent one to me, Kevin. The what the
did.
wish is that is? Can you show us the one you sent me? Because I don't even understand what this one was. This one
I don't
does.
have that one up because I actually screen capped that one.
Can
But,
I? Can I share?
Yeah,
it?
if
Hold
you
on.
can share it, then please do. Yeah,
Hold
it's
I don't
so I-
understand what this is.
so I know what it actually is, and I want you guys to actually. It would be cool if you guys guess what this one is.
What is?
I would say
So-
that has to
Wow.
do with something with being in a butcher shop and hooking your meat.
Ooh, that's a really good guess.
Is it
No,
like
I have no
Totally
idea.
wrong, but it's a really good guess.
I wanted it to be really random, but
Yeah, that's beautiful. Drew, do you have any ideas of what this might be?
Well, since you guys are way more clever than I am, I'm gonna say pull-up enhancers.
Mm.
I was kind of
Nope.
thinking around that same route of like just the lazy man's way of doing pull-ups, but
No.
either that or it's something sexual. It's got to be something sexual, like you're
Mm.
digging your hook in her. That's disgusting. I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe it's
Mm.
Batman. It's like a Batman utility belt. It's something you throw out there, right? To
So
swing.
I thought that's what it was. It was like a climbing helper because like your hooks so that if you get finger fatigue or whatever. But Drew, you were actually really really close. It's not a pull up helper, but it's a like a dumbbell curler helper. So the barbell actually sits in those hooks, and then as you're like lifting, I guess you're just gonna have your
seems
entire
like the most
wrist.
pointless thing.
Yeah, and like if you drop it, then it's still really attached to you, which normally
Yeah.
means you're like going down with it. So I think that's sort of the danger of
I
it all.
have
but,
bought stuff on Wish, and every single thing you get back is the most pointless thing. It's a fact. It's just the worst. I deleted and blocked everything. Like never again.
But they're making millions of dollars off of people. Like
They
so
are.
Yeah,
much
because,
money
because
that
it's an impulse buy that's $2, and you go, oh, I got $2 on it, and then 4 months later it comes in, you go, oh, I forgot I ordered this. Wait, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's a wine nutsack decanter.
Yeah, but
Duh, what
it
did you
won't
think?
look anything close to that.
Isn't Wish basically the app you use when you're just shit faced drunk, like scrolling on Facebook, right? I would assume that's what nobody's going to Wish at 2 PM sober, right? Unless they're doing a podcast.
It was like it started coming up as like Facebook ads or Instagram ads, and then you would click on it. It's what he's doing. You're like, what the? You click on
It's
it,
literally what the fuck.
and then you get
Yeah.
stuck on it, and you're like, why am I still scrolling? And then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, $2, I'll try that.
Yeah. I will say, like, I do my pin of the wedding, and my fiance got me like literally a pin holding book. I have so many now. It's like an old CD case, and I keep them all in there. But I get a lot of my pins from Wish, and it's pretty fun because you spend like 45 cents on each one. You get them like 6 months later, and you're like, oh, this is a fun little surprise. But I've gotten a lot of stuff, and I kind of figured out a little bit of a system to it, where as long as you spend more than like $15 or $20 on stuff, it's actually pretty good. Because I bought this little projector for like $35, and I just used it here in the office. I used to put my face up on the wall behind me when I did Twitch stuff. So like there's some sneaky stuff in the catacombs of Wish, I guess. But for the most part, it's all shit.
Speaking of which, Kevin, how does it feel to say your fiance? Like you just like let that roll off
It's
your.
pretty cool, man.
You like
I've
that?
gotten very used to it. I was so used to just saying like my girl and stuff like that, but yeah,
You got the
fiance's
official title
pretty
now.
sweet.
Are you gonna
Drew,
milk
you're
that
married.
for 2 years. You're gonna milk that for 2, 3, 4 years. What do you?
Yeah, how you
we all
doing-
do
how are you doing
weddings,
that?
right? So you're always like, so finally they're getting married after what, a 10-year engagement?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty long. We don't even know what year we're getting married yet. It's just there's a lot of stuff that has to happen before then, that we're trying to figure out. But that should all come to a close in like 2023, and then it's really just more coming up with the idea of what we want. And Drew, you were
Who's gonna DJ it?
Dude, Drew was actually the first person to ask. He was like, I'd really like to throw my hat in the ring, and I will not forget his exact verbiage. I was like, that is so classy of you, dude. Because everybody else is like, hey, just make sure you let me know when you want me to DJ your wedding. And I'm like, fuck, dude. Like Drew was so polite about it. He literally because he was right there when it happened, kind of, and he just we were standing at the bar together, right there, and he was just like, dude, I just really like to throw my hat in the ring. And Drew, do you remember what I told you?
You said I'm on a short list of 15, and I'm at the end of that.
I actually probably said something like that, but no, dude. I mean, honestly, my goal is to have like all of my friends are in the DJ world right now. I know like one buddy from high school and then a couple other friends. But really, my circle's pretty tight outside of the DJ world. But Probably half the people in attendance are going to be DJs, and I just want everybody to, at some point, I'm going to have like a little, it'll be like a Pong sign up sheet back in college, and everybody will just like take a time slot, and then we'll just have a fucking grand old time, just everybody kind of mixing it up together. But I'm going to be
Isn't that
super tough about it and be like, no,
isn't that
Shorty, you
not the
cannot
worst though?
DJ.
I don't want to. Is that not the I just look, I'm not like there's so many there's 5 billion more talented DJs other than me. And so I think if I had to pick, obviously these two that are sitting here on the podcast today would obviously be way above on the list than me. But isn't that not a
You're
shitty part of
16.
being a DJ is having DJs reach out to you and like, hey, you're gonna like so Justin Reed and I, we're in the same market, we compete together, but we've been friends for 20 years. I love the guy. And so when he got engaged a billion years ago, I didn't even ask. I didn't even ask. He hired a DJ out of Charlotte. They took care of it. I didn't really want to. I wanted to kind of enjoy like the night. I didn't want to like have the pressure of like, oh shit, like this is my best friend in the world, and now I have to like be the best DJ ever for him. I just want to be like, yo, can I just get shit faced to the bar with you and do shots? That's where my brain was. Drew, you
point.
are married. Did you? How did that work? I know you've been married for quite a while, but did you
Yeah.
have DJs reach out to you like Kevin is now experiencing, or
No,
how did
I
that work for
was
you?
let's see. So I've been married. My wife is one of my biggest supporters. We got engaged and then I quit my day job and said, I'm going to become a full-time DJ, which everyone should listen to. Women love
Definitely
that.
do that.
No,
Yeah, they love
actually
that.
she was a giant supporter, and I did quit my day job. I'm not even lying about that. I quit my day job.
What'd you do
Said
before?
I'm going to do I was DJing the whole time, but at like more well, actually it wasn't even on the side. I was DJing like 7 nights a week just at a bar, and then I was DJing, and then I was doing mortgage loans. And
Okay.
so I told her, look, I'm miserable at these mortgage loans. I can't stand it. I know I can actually make money if you just believe in me. And this is when we were dating. And so then we got engaged, and right before we got married, we refied the house, and we started basically we got married in Hawaii because I didn't want to do a wedding. This is how it happened. I knew I was going to have to invite a bunch of people. And so I said, we're getting married in Hawaii. If you want to come, cool. If you don't, no worries.
Yeah.
And
That's the best
and
way to do it.
and we had 75 people show up. I hired a local guy, put him up. I mean, I don't even know where he's at now. I actually don't follow him, but that was kind of the beauty about it, right? It was
Yeah.
like, just had all my family and friends and like a bunch of randoms, because some people actually took you up on the offer of, hey, if you want to show up, cool. If you don't, whatever. So I kept it low key.
You said you did mortgage loans before, and that you were miserable, and that your girlfriend, and then of course then fiance and wife kind of supported the decision to make you a full-time DJ. Which even how long you been married now? You said 14 years. I think I read that somewhere.
07. So whatever that is, I can't do math. It's 15 years this year in August.
So, and that's a big. I remember when I first started my DJ company. I was engaged at the time, and I told the girl that I was engaged to at the time that, you okay, Kevin?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was engaged before, a long time ago.
I'm a bad friend.
Yeah, you are. So I was engaged, and I told her I wanted to do this, and I remember, DJing, and I was making like $700-800 being a DJ. Like I was at that point in my career where I was like, I'm just trying to find weddings to do, and so I got the check from the wedding, and I'll never forget. She's like, what are you gonna do with the money? I said, well, you want to invest it back in the company. She's like, oh, I need new shoes. And I'm at that moment, I was like, this is not the person I need to be with. Like at that very exact moment. And I think it's pretty awesome that your wife, your girlfriend then had this, like, I'm sure there were nerves. I'm sure they were like, oh fuck, what are we about to do? Because there are some DJs that try it and it doesn't work out, and there is no ambition, or they think it's just all gonna come to them. So I'm glad that like at least there was somebody supporting it. I think like all three of you have that. I'm clearly no longer engaged or married or have a girlfriend at this point, but I'm glad that all three of you have somebody that just support the fuck out of you guys, because this industry is not for the weak at all. Um, so I want to also ask Drew, and I promise Fuse, I got a billion questions for you as well. But do you like for direct music service, DMS? Like that's been a long time. That website's been around for what, like since the '90s, right?
Well, we originally started in all the vinyls, so you would
Okay.
find the pop rock vinyls and man, I cannot even remember any of the names at the moment. But
Great Savers,
Great
Pop
Savers, yeah.
Rocks.
So we had all the vinyls that you would carry around, and basically Kevin Scott would make intros, outros, and they
Yeah.
would press them, and it would be kind of like a promo only. You'd get the promo only disc, and it would have, you know, 20 songs on it. Well, promo only would have 20 songs on it and 2 usable. And then 3 months later you would get the one that you wanted. And you're like, "Oh, tight. Thank you." But TMS was always putting out the the tracks that were usable and being played in the club, and you would it would be more of like the 6 or 7 of like the big hits on wax, so that you didn't have to, when you were traveling with all your vinyl, you didn't have to have all of those as singles.
Wow. So was this also in the same years that you were doing the mortgages and kind of DJing on the side that you were doing direct
So
music service?
I actually started with DMS more around 2010.
Okay.
So with Kevin Scott, I basically started with the digital age, and it was right when they switched over into the digital era. My years not perfect, but I was one of the first couple employees, and they needed somebody. I was opening for Kevin Scott, who's one of the owners, and him and Warren um, both own it. But yeah, I was basically just doing opening up for him, and I was like, hey, any way I could help. I was just trying to. I just went full time a couple years back and was kind of struggling trying to find my footing, and he brought me on, and it was really to help with the back end, and I started doing edits for them then as well. So it's a combination
Why
of the two.
DMS? Like why not like a funky mix or an ulti mix? Like why, like what kind of
Um,
gravitated you toward this website, toward this community of remixers?
of course, it's a great question. To be completely honest with you, me and Kevin clicked. I mean, we're still like super super tight to this day, and he he was on. He was working for AM. He was traveling the country. I think style wise, when I was opening for him, at that time I was playing one of the biggest clubs here in Orange County, and we had every single DJ come through, and he was just always the one that I felt like, man, I DJ just like this guy, or I try to. I think in my head I do. He's way better than I am, but I think I do. So I just felt like that we had a similar style, and we just connected.
It's huge, man.
Yeah,
Fuse,
and
you also do some stuff for DMS. Like when did you start? Like what was your gravitational pull toward the website as well? Was Drew kind of an influence of also having you join? Uh,
I didn't know who Drew was when I started.
really? Okay.
facts.
No, so we probably started close at the same time. Maybe Drew might have been a year or two before, but I was around 2010-ish, and
Well,
Kevin was
wait.
coming through.
Yeah, I know. We were both on at the same time and
Uh-huh.
like hanging out. I think both of us weren't really. We were like contributors, and that's what we always try and tell contributors is like sometimes you got to put in the time to then get signed, right?
Yeah,
It took
With DMS,
Yeah.
so
you
you
were
would basically
you were
like say here's a mix, have it basically.
yeah. Any edits that I was making, I was just putting out. I knew that I was doing something that at the time people weren't doing, and not everything that I would send in would get put up. But if I sent in 10 edits, 5 of them would go up. So I was just Simo's in Cincinnati too, and Simo and I kind of had the same idea where it's like, fuck it, let's just come over to each other's house once a day or once a week, and we'll make a bunch of edits. We'll put both of our names on them, and we'll have better chance of getting them up on the site. And so that's what we started doing. And but I knew Kevin, and I started using DMS long before I even started submitting edits to DMS. And I want to say I started using DMS right around 2008.
That's about when it switched
9.
over. About
Yeah.
8 was when it dropped, because I remember Kevin was coming through and would be like, "Hey, I got this thing. It's coming out." I was like, "All right, tell me when.
Yeah.
I'll sign
It
up."
was right around that because I was getting stuff off Crooklyn Clan at the time, and I think I used another
DJ City was really the only
My-
other pool at the time.
my MP3 pool. I think was the other one that I got music from. But I knew Kevin because he was coming through playing the club too. So Kevin, I wasn't even like DJing that much at the club at that point, but I was already submitting edits. And when he came through, he was like, "Oh man, nice to meet you. Like it's cool. Your edits are up. Like it's really nice to meet you." And then over the kind of the couple years of him coming through there and opening for him all the time and building that kind of that relationship, there was a spot that opened up, and I kind of filled that spot, and then that's kind of how it went. But I was using DMS as pretty much my main record pool before I even,
became
got
an
brought on.
official. Yeah.
But one thing that I could say for Kevin and Warren is you guys probably know Warren a lot more than Kevin, just because Kevin's kind of taken a behind the scenes kind of role as of late. But both Warren and Kevin have projected the life that I've wanted to live for myself. Kevin is both Warren and Kevin both have wives, kids. They're living proof that you can be normal in an industry that is not normal at all. And for me, that was one of the biggest, coolest things for working for them, is like, oh, here I am working for two guys that have like, their lives put together and, are normal, and I still like that part about it, and I still like both Kevin and Warren. I feel like they're like my DJ dads, like that. And it's funny, like, when I was out playing with Drew in January, a lot of the other guys came through, Warren, Jason B, Donk, who else? I'm missing somebody. Anyway, I was telling my girlfriend, I'm like, like how when you see your friends from college, I'm like, anytime I see these guys, it's like seeing my friends from college, like, because we only get together so much, but we know so much about each other, and we have spent a lot of time talking and working, and we all do the same thing. So it's like you get a couple like-minded people together, and you know it seems like you've known each other way longer because you're all doing the same thing, and you know so much about each other and all of that. So
Well, there was the DMS house, as everyone was calling it in Vegas. You guys rented an Airbnb, and I won't. All I'll say is that people would come over to the DMS house and then leave. And I guess there was a night where some stories were shared about DJ AM and some other people, some just people that we all admire in the DJ industry. And I think that Direct Music Service DMS itself it just has a name of recognition with everyone. And you bring up a great point. I think the DJ industry, like there's so many people that, especially 10, 12, 15 years ago, you thought of a DJ as just like this recluse type of guy or girl in the industry that could never get married or settle down, or that wasn't in that wasn't in the cards. And even going back to what Drew said about hey, I want to quit this 9 to 5. I fucking hate it, and I love doing this, and this is my passion. And I think having people like Warren and Kevin be those role models to say, hey, look, you guys can be normal human beings and not have to sit at a cubicle from 9 to 5 p.m. at a computer. Because I think our industry has always been like, it is abnormal. It isn't a normal job. We do work a weekend, we do work late nights sometimes. So there isn't this like normalcy, or I guess for the longest time there wasn't. Does that make sense, or am I just being a fucking rambling idiot? Like,
Totally makes sense. I seriously preach this all the time, and I preach this because the only reason I told you I was working 7 nights a week before my wife kind of was like, give me the go ahead. And the only reason I wasn't doing it full time before is because I listened to my dad say, you can't do that. And, my dad
yeah.
here with 2 masters and fucking God knows what and still not making shit. And I'm going, no, dad, you're wrong. And hey,
But they
this
come
is
from a
probably
different
good.
time,
Well, this is probably going to happen with our kids and go, but Dad, look, I'm making TikToks, and you're going to
or
go,
Twitch.
you can't be a TikToker for the rest of your life, and they're going to go, hey, this paycheck sure as fuck says I can TikTok all fucking day, right?
Hell yeah.
It's
It's
funny you
going to
bring that
happen,
up.
dude.
Like,
There's always going to be
right.
something that's like weird to us, and I will always embrace my daughter if she wants to do something that's just a little bit different. Like, just have a backup
And
plan.
I think it's funny you mentioned that. I'll never forget. I was last summer. I was at a Phillies game with my cousin, and Nathan pulled his phone
Boo.
out. Nathan pulled his phone out, and he's like, "Oh, sweet!" And it was my 15-year-old cousin. I said, "So what's up?" He was like, "I just got paid from Twitch," and I went, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just made $300 from Twitch," and I was like, "What?" Like, and to a 15, 16-year-old, like $300 is a lot of fucking money, like
God,
for that,
bank.
like, and I thought to him, and I looked at him, and I said, $300 to me, like at my age, is not really that much anymore, but like to you, it's a lot of money. Imagine what if you keep doing this on Twitch. Imagine what you're going to be like in 10 years. And I think that holds true. Like, yeah, there are the normalcy of the 9 to 5, I think, is going away. I think COVID sped that up. I think that
Big time.
honestly, like when COVID happened, when I was in radio, they made us leave. They made us all go home, and I literally built this, studio. Yes, you can drink. I built this kind of studio in my wedding office so I could do the show from here. But I would watch
Mine are
these
empty.
gamers.
Mine
Wait,
are
I
empty.
thought
I've
your
had to
show was
drink so
sponsored
much.
by. I
I
thought your
might
show
have
was
to.
sponsored by Liquid Death. I was expecting all the Liquid Death.
Yeah,
Well, it's not our
drinks,
show, but the
guys.
Liquid Death is here. It's sitting here, right here.
Our
But
show is not sponsored by Liquid Death still.
it's
Not
not.
Neither
yet.
is
Okay,
your
we're
show.
Not yet.
And neither is
We're
your
trying to
show.
get
yet.
But I think COVID sped that up. I think that I started watching these gamers on YouTube, and on YouTube and on Twitch, and I'm like, my God, they're making how much money a day just in donations? It was insane. It's insane to see that. I think the corporate Americas, and I'm not trying to go down this like rabbit hole of like the seriousness of the podcast, but I think corporate America is in trouble. I think this 9 to 5 mentality is done. I think people are
Well,
finding other things to do.
to add to what you're saying, I have my wife's mom and my dad are, they come over for the Christmases, if you will, and we love to have hot topics.
In April?
And
I'm just kidding.
and not the goth kind. We like to have the hot topics on if we're if we're wearing if we're able to eat at Taco Bell tomorrow. But they say, oh, they're still milking the thing in the place, and they're still milking the free tax money. And it's like, no, dude, they just realize that that's a stupid job, and they'd rather be
Yeah.
unemployed. Like, when I had a job at Disneyland when I was 16, during the summer, just a brief little thing. And it may or may not have been to pick up on girls that worked there too, but it is what it is. And when you go there and you realize, like, for summer, you start at 8 and then you end at 6, and then your next shift is at 1, and like you have all this fucked up shift, right? You have zero life, and then they give you 1 day off, and then you work, and then another day off. It's like, who wants to do that? And then you get the check, and granted, it's a little bit more now. It's probably equal. You get the check, and you're like, this is useless. I'd rather do what I love and just
I could buy one pair of Jordans with this. What the fuck?
That.
Well, I could sell
Right.
those Jordans for 3 times the money if I
Yeah.
wanted to. Also,
Yeah, I think there's a lot that's going to change, and I mean, some of these big tech companies, I've already been showing it the way they allow employees to work, and I'm not saying they're doing it 100% right either, but who the fuck cares if you're in an office from 9 to 5 if you're being productive and you're getting what your responsibility is done? If it's due on fucking Friday, who gives a fuck if it's
If you do it
you
Thursday night.
yeah, at midnight while you're watching Netflix? Who the fuck cares? If that's when you're most productive, that's when you're most productive. And
hey, we're all doing this podcast for free, right? Same thing, right? We all love it. We're
Yeah.
all doing it.
We're
Hey,
making. What are you talking about? We're making money over here. What are you talking about?
We've
tons
made
of-
18 cents.
No, we have
18.
All right.
we're
18,
not
baby.
sponsored by
We have-
Liquid
we
Death, and
have-
we're still making no money from them.
we actually
Not
we
yet.
have 45 cents now from Spotify. Thank you very much.
All right.
So
That's it. I'm retired. We're done here.
I like your segue, Kevin, because I want to say that I don't know what you guys use, and I want to talk about your podcasting, and I know we're going to be on your show as well. We'll kind of swap roles here, minus the
Stoked.
butt plug with the furry thing on it. But I want to kind of swap roles as far as the podcasting and stuff, and what we use versus what you guys use, and just anybody that's listening to this that may be in the DJ industry that says, "Hey, I want to do this too." So Kevin and I use a thing called Riverside to do all of our video stuff. I love it. It's phenomenal, except for the fact that Drew Pierce just dipped out or something. I don't know what happened.
he's probably pooping.
He's pooping right in his chair, I think.
Yeah.
So he had to turn his camera off.
That's
Yeah.
a whole different
He
definition.
needed
of
those doggy diapers.
That's a whole different definition of liquid death.
Oh, Jesus.
Where's my where's my there we go. There it is. There it is. We're getting to dad jokes, I promise. I do want to say, so we use Riverside for our video. We use Anchor for uploading our podcast for our audio. I was texting Kevin the other day. Again, I don't know what you guys use for your podcast, but Spotify just gave us the green light to where now, if you're listening on Spotify, you can actually watch the video on Spotify as well. So you
nice.
click on our episode
Super cool.
on Spotify. On the top is the video. Obviously, the audio version comes with that, and there's just a lot of cool perks with Anchor. Before the show runs, you hear an ad that plays, so we get paid per time the ad plays and that sort of thing. So again, going back to the 9 to 5, and again, we made the joke we make 46 cents. It's not like we're making a ton of money here, but Joe Rogan had to start somewhere as well. He says it on his show all the time. He literally was doing the show for free with a webcam, 10 years ago in his house with just a bunch of comedy buddies of his, and now he's got, what do they say? I think he has 30 million listeners per episode.
Got
or
half
something.
the world
Yeah.
listening, man.
Yeah.
That's
They
It's
tried
an
to cancel him, but
that's a
couldn't.
whole nother that's a whole
Yeah,
nother
that's
topic.
a whole-
I have comments about, but I what I will say is I'm glad that Spotify said, hey, look, he did wrong, he fucked up, we don't agree with what he said. He came out with any apology. What I will say to that is, why can't people just apologize and go, hey, I made a mistake 10 years ago, I tweeted something out, it was fucking dumb. Kevin Hart has a documentary on Netflix called I Hope I Don't Fuck This Up. And if you've never watched it, go watch it. It's a fucking phenomenal episode. And it follows his journey along the journey of when he was announced that he was going to be the host of the Oscars. And then 3
Yeah.
days later, those tweets came out. And he didn't back down. He said, fuck it. I said, I'm sorry. That's all I'm doing. I'm not going to bend over. I'm not going to, change who
and
I
props
am.
to him. Yeah,
they
Again,
can't-
I think
Good.
that cancel culture stuff is fucking annoying. Everybody is imperfect.
Yes.
Everybody has said something that they shouldn't have said at one point or time. And all these people are acting so self-righteous, just want to see somebody's fucking career or life or whatever end because they're such miserable fucking people themselves. It's
Right. Well, and they want it
Which-
to end the second as someone finally gets something amazing. So again, Kevin
Yeah.
Hart, got asked to be the host of the Oscars. I think Kevin Hart is one of the most phenomenal, hardworking people. After watching that documentary, I was like, this guy doesn't quit. I mean, he works 12, 14, 16-hour days with 3 kids and a wife, and he's got a radio show on Sirius XM. He's got, his comedy special. He's got this. He's got so many projects that he's doing. And to get the news that you're now the host of the Oscars, and then 2 days later to have people go back in their tweets for 10 years ago. Like, imagine taking your phone and going, all right, I'm going to scroll until I get 10 years down the road in your tweets to find something that, yes, was wrong. 100%. What he tweeted was not right, but he was trying to be funny. And he's also a comedian. Like, he's a comedian.
Yeah.
Like,
Get into cancel culture. I mean,
And
Chris Rock was hoping that happened to him a couple days before. Look what because then he wouldn't have had to deal with it and be in this limelight or stuck in this awkward situation that he's in. Will's probably his buddy, and he's stuck in this thing of, yo, you kind of did me dirty, but at the same time, like, I'm trying to not do you dirty back. So it's like, it's weird.
It's all so strange, and it really is just like a cowardice of all the people that are the consumers of all the content versus the creators, and that like there's some jealousy factor, some like sick just why not me factor to it all.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, the Facebook is like, the other F word besides fuck, I like, it was thrown around a lot back in like the early 2000s and stuff, and I had a bunch of pictures that had comments and actual captions using that word, and Facebook's ripping them down now. And I'm like, good, save me the trouble of doing it. But no one's going back and looking at the captions of my photos saying, oh, he called this person, like this word in the past. Like, it's I don't know,
dude,
man. Like the point is you're supposed to change.
I'm getting blackballed on MySpace right now.
Yeah. And it's like, that is such an ancient tomb of a media platform that why do we care? But people are just trying to dig up dirt on people for no reason.
Yeah, I don't understand the point. I mean, well, obviously the point, I think, like what Drew or Fuse or one of you guys said, that it's just to basically destroy someone. But the weird thing is, like, it's like Jacob in his mom's basement that is going back 10 years on Kevin Hart's tweets to find it.
Yeah.
And then, like, so it happens, right? So Kevin Hart says, fuck it, I'm not doing the Oscars. Or Will Smith, that's probably a whole different situation. We'll go back to the Kevin Hart thing. Like, so it happens, right? So Jacob's like, yeah, it happened. But then what? Like, Jacob's still in his basement of his mom's house. Like, they're nothing.
Being a fucking loser.
Wait.
He's still the real loser of everybody.
Wait, I want to say something here. Actually, I got something.
Yo, Fuse is fired up, baby.
I hate that shit.
Our non-sponsor Liquid Death, their advertising is so amazing. What they do is they take those where, hey, I'm never using your products again because you're the devil, and they put it out as their tweet, and then they make a shirt about it, and they're like, yay, we're the devil, and they're just embracing it and just like, fuck you. And I heard, but the owner did a whole fucking podcast episode about it, like talking about how someone was trying to cancel him, like in the early beginnings, and they basically tracked down this guy, and he just does it to every single person, like every type of big company he's going around and trying to cancel him, and they stood up to him, and props to our non-sponsor Liquid Death, right?
I remember the station had a Twitter account. And listeners all the time will tweet you just stupid shit, just to try to get at you. And so I remember the listener tweeted us something, the same shit, like, oh, you play the same 10 songs over and over again. First off, we fucking know, okay? Secondly, like, it's just, we get it. And so I think I tweeted back at them from the station account. I said something sarcastic. And I got drug into the general manager's office and the program director's office, and the corporate was involved. This is a whole thing. And like, you can't do that to listeners. And I literally looked at him and I go, have you seen how Wendy's tweets and the reaction that they get from their followers? Like, doing this is going to give you more clout than us being like, oh, we're very sorry and we'll try to do better. And if you have any questions, contact management@radiostation.com. Like, me tweeting that sarcastic tweet was the same thing I did that Wendy's does. obviously Wendy's probably does a very better job than I did, but like I don't understand. Like I don't know. I'm now
The
you got me
problem
this
is
whole
with
time
that
thing.
is like you need a very forward thinking person, and you
Yes.
need not the old man who has gone, well, I've done this for 30 years and this
Yep.
is how it's worked. And it's like, look, bro,
Yeah.
times change,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like the way to do things, you adapt or die, you know,
Fuse,
adapt or
that's
die.
that's how that industry thinks. I mean, there are people that so I worked in the top 40, format. So it's female, we're trying to attract that 18 to 34 female. That was our demo. The Fuse, it's all ran by 50-plus-year-old men with gray hair.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I said
Who
to them,
drive
I go,
Corvettes and have gold chains.
and
Ugh.
and in my head, I go, why aren't females running this? Why isn't the female, industry
I can answer that question too, because they all
this-
fucking hate each other. That's the answer.
Oh, wait, Shorty.
Hot takes, baby.
Wait, Shorty. So instead, you said, "Hey, I want to go with a demo of dudes 25 to 50."
a little easier.
I'm gonna start a
Adapt,
DJ
man.
podcast.
You gotta adapt.
Yeah. They were like, you're hired.
Hey, bro, Fuse, you said it, man. Corvettes, dude. The fact that some people still think Corvettes are sweet. Like
Those new ones are kind of cool.
The
But
C7 and the C8 is a completely different vehicle. I agree, but like the guys that that still think like a 2002 Mustang is sweet. Like those are fucking mom Mustangs, bro. I hate those fucking things.
Wait a sec. I drive a Toyota Highlander, so what does that make me?
A mom.
What?
a dad owner.
a
A
dog
dog
dad.
owner, a dog
A
dad.
dog dad. A dog dad.
Listen, I do put Percy in the back of the seat. Okay, he rides along.
That's
with
our
me.
next. That's our first shirt. Is Highlander, the official vehicle of the dog dad in North Carolina.
South Carolina, you jerk.
Okay, that's another part of our drinking game. Every time I say North instead of South.
I want to talk about the Drew and Fuse show. You can find them at the drewandfuseshow.com, of course, on Spotify, YouTube, everywhere, obviously, where you can find your content. I want to ask, so Kevin and I are still trying to figure out the kind of formatics of this show. It's still a shit show, as we would say, but we're starting to get into that. And I will say we kind of we give you a nod to this, where we've kind of come up with different, I want to say, segments of the show. You guys have these segments called the rapid fire segments. Where I was listening to Janai actually on the plane from South Carolina to Vegas, and I loved how the show is broken up. I love how you guys talk for a little bit, and then there's like a segment. And then you guys ask a few more questions, and there's these kind of fun segments. How'd this come about? How did you guys come up with these segments? Has it always been like that on the show? Like, where did this come about?
This is 100% me being obsessed with morning radio. So I am not a morning person. I hate.
Do we take
mornings.
a drink there? Oh, no, we don't. Okay.
I hate mornings. But part of the deal, not getting a dog and having a daughter is you take them to school, and so I take my daughter to school every morning, and she's been raised on our local morning radio station, and she hates it. But
What's the show?
a little bit, she loves it. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm in LA, so LA morning radio, K-Rock, it's Kevin and Bean, where they're no longer they've kind of gone their other ways. But 30 years solid every morning. And they were just
Kevin and
crushing
Bean
it. Crushing it. I mean, they basically found Jimmy Kimmel, Adam Carolla, all those early who
shit.
else?
They did.
What's his name? Carson Daly. All these big
Mhm.
giant stars came from the Kevin and Bean show. And I'm just such a big fan, and I've always wanted to just have a morning show. I love every idea about it. And so it's a work in
Same.
progress, but that's really kind
Yeah.
of what it comes from. Is we're trying to, like you guys were talking about, it's going to evolve. It can't just be it's DJ talk, because that's what we do, and we're talking music. And to answer your question the best way without me ranting is the segments have become from listeners texting in. It's all about the listeners. They always text in. They're like, hey, I like this part the best. You're like, oh, so do I. Next segment, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same. I was always a big morning show listening to. I was big on Howard Stern, which I've
Yes,
basically
dude.
I've abandoned listening to him anymore. But
Yes.
Same, man. Since
uh,
COVID.
he is just the person anymore. Fuck it, I'll just say it. The person that he is anymore is the person he used to fucking talk shit all about during his show.
Absolutely, dude.
And
Thank
like,
you.
and I fucking hate him for it because I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, you created this whole speak your mind, fucking say whatever the fuck you want. And now you are so like woke, cancel culture, won't say anything. And I'm like, who is
So
this guy? And you
Yeah.
talk about your wife and her fucking Peloton more than anybody I fucking have heard. I've heard the word Peloton more come out of his mouth than anybody's mouth.
So
Yeah.
there's a woman behind that. There's a consultant that when he moved to SiriusXM, for a couple years there, he was still doing kind of the Sibian and the strippers and the things he would do
Shock
on,
jock shit, right? Yeah.
right, that he would do on 92.3 in New York.
And that was
And
that stuff's cool, but I liked all of his like more real stuff when he would get people in and stuff, you know.
sure,
But
listen,
man.
the Whack Pack was my favorite. I mean, like
Bro.
when Drew had mentioned Jimmy Kimmel, I almost said Jimbo Kimball. Like I almost
Jimbo
just
Kimball.
without reaction said Jimbo Kimball, because that's just what the Whack Pack would say. And,
yeah, and High Pitch Eric is probably still one of the most fascinating people ever.
yeah, I miss Eric the midget. Excuse me, Eric the actor.
Eric the actor. Right.
I do.
Well, that was the
Does
biggest
Drew
thing.
have
Was like
any
the
idea
Whack
what we're
Pack.
talking about? Was Howard Stern a thing in L.A.?
Again, I listened to Howard when I did construction for a little bit, so I listened to Howard, and Howard's big. Don't get me wrong; I know Howard's massive. The amount of time I listen to radio is taking my daughter, picking her up with one eye open, and driving down the street, dropping her off, and then coming back
Right.
home, and then shit's turned off, and I'm going back to bed. That was the extent of it, right? So I understand his legacy. I've listened to interviews. I know I still do think his interviews are awesome. I think he knows how to pull something out of people. I don't know what kind of
Dude.
stuff he's getting, but he definitely is
It's
able to pull
gotten
shit out
less
of
and
people,
less
man.
though. It like
Yeah.
the newer interviews have been a little different than obviously like 10 years ago.
He's just an
so-
old fuddy duddy anymore too.
Yeah, so
So,
there-
Buddy Duddy.
yeah,
so
square,
there's
old
a
square, if you will.
Old Square. I love it. Yeah.
yeah there
Well, I
is
mean-
a oh go ahead.
Well, like Billie Eilish found out that this was like right at the tail end of his interviews still being good. Billie Eilish found out that she was a test tube baby on his show. Like, to me, that's crazy. And it may have been played up a little bit. You know, they may have like already known and shared it with her. But the fact that she went into the interview with her brother Phineas, I think
Phineas.
is his
Yeah.
name, right? Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's an artist as well, and he's incredibly talented.
He's her producer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's produced all of her stuff.
Yeah, but you know, he's not getting that same attention that she's getting. So I think he started to do some of his own solo stuff. But like when you hear about like that, when you see, but now it's like Jimmy Kimmel is literally a guest like once a month on the show.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times can we hear from him? All the like main people that quit, you know, Shuley, Brent, all those like real big guys that came from other radio stations that, you know, that I thought were super entertaining. It's really just, there's like one good person left, and that's like Steve Nowicki. But again, I'm the same way as you, Fuse. I don't think I've listened since
Yeah.
pandemic hit, and he was doing the Zoom recording type shit. Like,
Yeah,
Dude,
so
I was like, fuck Sirius, fuck him. Like,
yeah,
it sucks anymore.
So
Yeah.
so Shuley came to Greenville here, and Justin Reed and I went to see Shuley, and 4 people were there because it's just Greenville. It's not like nobody knows what the Howard Stern show is here. Is and he and I were like the biggest fans. So we went and had drinks with Shuley after the show. I was supposed to interview Shuley, but the schedules didn't link up. Like he was supposed to come in the studio and sit down and have an interview, and it just like he got in late, and I said, "Well, fuck it, don't worry about it." And I literally just walked up to him and let him know. And he said, "Yo, he was the nicest guy in the fucking world." He goes, "Hey, I got to do some things," but he's like, "Where's a bar we can go to drink?" And so I told him the bar. 10 minutes later, he shows up, sits down, grabs a drink around, sits down with all of us. A couple of the people that were there also joined us, and he was the nicest person on the planet. just the nicest guy, and just I was sitting there asking him questions about the show, and he said some things that like he probably shouldn't have said. He kind of opened up that fourth wall of like what is happening and what is going on and how the show is changing and adapting. And I do think the show needed to adapt. I don't think a 70-year-old man needs to be like, okay, the stripper has to get on the Sibian now and let's turn it on and like,
Yeah.
those days are kind of behind him. But I do agree with you, Fuse. I think it went way the other way. But there are consultants, there are people behind him that I think are telling him do this and do that, and I think it kind of ruined it. And again, I don't expect a 70-year-old man to play with the girls boobs while
Dude, he's
he's on
fucking
the show.
fart man at the end of the day, though. Like,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
let's
that's
listen
just
to
it.
about who we're talking about here.
Right.
Like, it's like my whole thing too is just like, I don't know. That's a whole
Fuse
other
is
thing.
Oh, wait, wait.
like absolutely sad.
broken,
that
man.
Stern
But
broken.
but can I bring it back then? Since I'm the odd man out
Yeah.
that wasn't a giant
Yeah.
Stern fan, and also it has everything to do with the fact that I just K Rock was always like was just stuck on my radio.
It's a
I was just-
heritage.
yeah.
Yeah.
So same thing, segments, right? That's what you brought up originally, right? That was the whole deal with segments.
Yeah.
That's what made you like it. And that's kind of what the idea is, right? Just to carry the conversation along, and you guys are interviewing people, and as it goes, it's like we can only bullshit for so long. Where it's like, okay, let's steer this in a direction to where
Sure.
it's not as rambling for 3 hours, which I also love. But to really keep everybody, there's so much freaking content out there,
Yeah.
and to keep the listeners engaged, it's hard to just have a 3 hour of nothing.
Well, and I mean, and Joe Rogan's great at it. That dude smokes so much weed and just sits there for 3 hours and talks to someone. And and it takes me 3 months to get through one episode, but he's really good at it. And I don't think I can hold a conversation for 3 hours. And I told Kevin this. I said, look, I want to do a show where like we'll bring people on and we'll do kind of, some segments and talk about different topics. But I also again, I sat down with Joe Bunn face to face and was able to sit and interview him as a Stern, not saying that I'm in any way as great as Stern whatsoever or Joe Rogan, but I still want to be able to do that kind of stuff. So to kind of bring you two back on, and for it all at DJX to kind of sit down and actually just have an hour of just asking questions, and and I told Bunn this. I said, because he was the first interview, I wanted him to be the first. And I said, but I want to get deep. I want to talk about your kids. I want to talk about your life. What was it like? What was 18-year-old Bunn like? What was that like? And I still like that aspect of the show as well. And so hopefully when we all go to DJX in the summer, we can all kind of like revisit, sit down in a round table and just have that kind of discussion. Whereas this kind of portion of the show is that just let's find some random topics to talk about. Speaking of, great transition, right?
Segways, baby.
Before we
Doing
get to dad jokes, I do want to bring up one last thing that that happened this week in the world. We all obviously travel a lot. We use airplanes to do that, to go to Vegas, to go to Atlantic City. I hope that none of you do this on a plane, because if so, I would have to defriend you on Facebook. A Southwest passenger was arrested for masturbating 4 times
4 times.
during a flight. Not once, but 4 times.
I thought it was just frowned upon. I thought masturbating on an airplane was just frowned upon.
I don't think it's illegal.
What's
Is
he
it illegal?
say? In The Hangover, he's like, it's frowned upon, like masturbating on an airplane.
Maybe it was the fact that he did it 4 times is when they were like, okay, that draws the line. Like
I
4
guess.
times is a lot.
Maybe he
guess
was
that's a good
nervous.
point.
Fly Delta.
Maybe he was nervous.
Also,
Yeah,
I have several questions here. Why did it take Southwest employees like the 4th time for them to go, we should probably go over and say something to the guy?
Well,
Well, this is Fox. So
well,
they didn't want to call.
Well, it's
anybody
Fox
out.
My thing
5.
is-
It's a
Fox
local
5, it's not
affiliate.
Fox
It's not
News.
Fox News.
Okay.
but It doesn't say he was masturbating in like the airplane bathroom. He was just in his seat, fucking cranking one out, and that is more than frowned upon.
What is the longest possible flight? You know, like this guy's got. I'm honestly impressed more than anything, and I'm sure there's some girls that are like, after the third time, they're like, "This guy's got it. Look at him going again. This is somebody that I should be interested in." You know.
I'm trying to see where this plane was going.
Where, you know,
Jeffrey Toobin has been suspended. Well, oh wait, what? A new report on the suspension of New York. Wait, what? Hold on.
Breaking news,
Oh, wait,
people!
wait, wait,
Breaking
no,
news.
This is the wrong story. I was like, what? The wrong story. Hold on. Let me try to find this.
Fuck it, people won't know. Just tell the wrong story. Let's just like
No,
really develop this rumor here.
brought to
Here
you
we go,
by
got it.
the protested Radio Shorty with Hi Kevin episode.
Here we go. I've got the story.
Highly
A man on a
protested.
Southwest Airlines flight faces federal charges after allegedly masturbating at least 4 times during the flight.
Oh, it was
Least.
at least.
At
so
the
there was even
very
more.
least. He's
The-
just walking around the airplane, just fucking. Yeah.
Well, but wait. But so there's 4 times. How do they count that? Like, where does the count start and stop? Right? You know.
Yeah.
Every
who's
time he
really-
cooms,
I
bro.
kn-
Every time he
Well,
cooms, that's one.
You would guess that, but who is checking the towel or the sock or the all the above?
It's the fucking the puke bag in the airplane. That's what he was using.
He's like, "Excuse me, can I please borrow your puke bag, real quick." Like, or the one guy's getting hit in the face with the socks every time, and it's just like smacking him and falling down.
just throwing
Yeah,
it
he's literally
backwards.
just throwing it over his shoulder.
The criminal complaint obtained by the site claimed it happened on Southwest Flight 3814 on April 2nd, 2022. Antonio McGarity. What is your last name?
Wait,
Garrity.
wait,
But dude,
your uncle?
honestly, like
He gave
my
him a
old-
false name.
It was me.
Is accused of masturbating 4 times in the seat next to a female passenger. The woman took photos. When McGarity fell asleep, she told the flight crew what happened. They moved her to another seat on the flight. The woman turned
No,
over
you
the photos
stand
to
up
Phoenix
instantly.
police when the flight landed. The FBI interviewed him, and he said he didn't think the female passenger was uncomfortable with him masturbating, and he thought, quote, it was kind of kinky.
Wow.
And every time he was done, he said, "Hi, Kevin."
That is from
Mile
Fox.
High, Kevin.
That is from fox5atlanta.com. Yeah, so I guess he didn't think that she had any issue with a couple questions here. She let it go on 4 times and took photos.
No, you instantly
While it was
stand up and you walk
happening.
away. I'm sorry. At that point,
Yeah.
at that point,
Yeah,
you're
the
canceled.
first time you stand up and walk away, I'd be
Yeah.
like, "God damn, this motherfucker!"
Hey,
She's not.
if dudes,
She's not like an undercover cop. Like she's not gathering evidence.
If-
Like get the fuck out
if
of there.
dude's yo-yo is out and he's doing around the world, you go walk the dog down the fucking aisle. You know what I'm saying? And by walking the dog, I mean leave your dog at home because no one likes dogs.
And
like-
just don't have a dog.
But like the first time after you grab the photos, don't you have enough concrete evidence to go, okay, well, now I need to get up and go find a flight attendant and show him or her these photos.
No, you stand
Like,
up
why
instantly
people-
and you go. You know, you call. Yeah, you hit all 3 buttons right above you, all 3 stewardess.
And then you
buttons.
hit the next person's all 3 buttons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then you walk out and you go, bro, dude is doing something awkward, and that
He's
you
got
know
his
what it
dick
is.
out.
Yeah,
Stop. Like,
And this is where we need brutally honest people everywhere. Like you don't need to be an air marshal in order to yell at this guy to stop masturbating. You know, like I would say probably like 5 or 6 seconds in, I'd probably nudge my girl and I'd be like, yo, what the fuck? And then like 5 or 6 seconds later, I'd be like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
yeah.
Like,
no,
stop.
you
'Cause
did it
you're-
wrong,
you're
dude.
not
You
gonna
should have
get
tweeted him, and then you should look back on his tweets a little bit later and go, bro,
You
he
started
got
him a
caught.
free OnlyFans where you're
Literally,
making
like-
money.
That's what I think the lady was doing, was sort of just like, yeah, and by gathering that evidence over and over again, by recording that, he's like, oh, this lady's really fucking into this. She's not
Yeah.
she's not
She's
snitching on
recording me.
Yeah, you know,
I
like
also-
man,
I also have one more. We're just gonna call them weird stories before we get to dad jokes. That's my thing that I'll do.
All right, I like weird
stories
stories.
of
I'm in.
of the week.
Yeah.
We have one more story, then we'll get to dad jokes.
Are these all
DC
people from
Club
Florida?
apologizes after body of dead rapper seemed to be propped up on stage.
What?
What?
Yeah, let's the Bliss nightclub said it was quote never made aware of what would transpire during a $40 event billed as the final show for the rapper Gunu.
Was it? Oh no, I
Well,
thought it was.
definitely
I thought it was.
his final show.
I thought it was Lil Bernie.
Little Bernie. God, that's bad.
Oh my gosh.
Great.
I don't know what's worse: the people that paid the $40 for the final show, or the fact that the people were like, you know what, we're just gonna do a promotion off this, and it's $40 a head, and we're gonna prop this dude up, and like,
Lil Bernie.
Couple of questions. Like, who the morgue has to be in question in all of this as well. Like,
or unless he's just died and they didn't take the body, or like nobody claimed that he was dead.
wait,
Because
I've got
Yeah, that's where
those
I'm
goddamn
lost.
promoters needed him for their final show. It's always the promoters, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's called the final show. Did you expect anything less than a dead guy? You know?
Washington, D.C. nightclub apologized Monday after videos showed what appeared to be the body of a dead rapper on stage during a funeral event.
Dude, he was dead for a month? It says he was fatally shot in a parking lot in District Heights, Maryland last month. His killing remains unsolved. So he was dead for a month before they propped him up.
In a statement,
Jesus.
Bliss nightclub said it was quote never made aware of what would transpire during a $40 event, blah blah blah. Morrow 24 was found fatally shot. He was still video of the event published by TMZ appeared to show Morrow in a sweatshirt and jeans with a crown on his head. He appeared to have been embalmed and propped up on stage as music played, and some people danced.
Yeah.
Imagine being like, yeah, there's a dead guy on stage, but it's cool. Let's just dance anyway.
Let's do the Cupid Shuffle.
Oh wait! I forgot to continue scrolling. The DJs were Drew and Fuse from the
Stop!
Drew
Get out of here!
No.
Cut that.
They were literally killing it.
There we go.
Hey.
All right. Speaking of jokes, we do it every single week at the end of the show. It's dad jokes with DJ Hi Kevin. Here's how this works. Drew and Fuse, Kevin is going to tell a dad joke. We are going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. All right. Kevin, your dad joke music. Are you ready? Here it is. Kevin's got that awkward fish dance that he does.
Yeah, this awkward fish dance,
You can
right?
watch the awkward fish dance on the YouTube.
So here's the deal, guys. With you ranking me, just know that if you do not rank me high enough, you will not be the DJ at my wedding
or funeral.
or my final performance on stage. I'm still picturing that guy with just
bro. Is there a photo? There's got to be a photo.
It needs.
There has to be, dude. There's no way.
It needs to be Weekend at Bernie's
DC
3, where
Club
he
dead
becomes a
guy.
zombie and he just.
Oh my god, I found it. Hold on.
No, you did
No,
not.
I did. I
dude.
found
Are
it.
we
I
showing? Are we showing a dead guy?
I don't care.
It's got to be the highest listened to podcast. And the only reason I feel like I can talk mad shit is because it's not my show. It's your guys's. So
Exactly, dude. So you know what? And that's sort of like one thing that I feel like you got. Oh my god. How do you
No.
not know that's a dead guy?
Wait, the best is a 75 off patio furniture for your boy standing up. Is there like an upright stand up?
Where
That
you
was on
see
the
this?
side. It was on the side left. It moved.
Oh,
away
yeah,
when it
yeah.
was-
wait, they're claiming that it was a funeral. Right. It says under a funeral for Washington, D.C. based rapper who performed under the stage name Gunu took place at Bliss. They're claiming that
sorry.
that was his funeral.
Oh.
That you had to pay a $40 cover for.
But here's
Dude,
the thing.
that's amazing.
His body was embalmed, so he had to be in a morgue. So the morgue somebody's gonna be talking to this morgue, going, "How did the body get out of the morgue? How or out of the, like something's going on? Like there's more than just the
What?
club that's in trouble for this."
Yeah, what happened between when he got murdered
Shot
and that
In
day?
a parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
he got shot, and then like they went to the
Some-
funeral home, and they were like,
Oh,
"Listen,
man.
we've got this idea. Okay, hear me out. $40 a head, and we prop him up on stage, and Drew and Fuse show up and play. This is how we do it.
No, I don't want any part of this canceled.
No,
this
that's cancel
cancelness.
culture, bro. Get your cancel culture out of here, dude. I'm signing a petition that you're canceling us. Sign another petition.
Drew,
Cancel him. Cancel his podcast. Another petition.
Cancel this whole fucking thing. Cancel this.
all right, seriously, dad jokes with DJ
Dad
Hyde,
jokes, baby.
Kevin.
Dad
your,
jokes.
your first dad joke there, Kevin.
All
What
right.
do we have?
So why do cows wear bells?
Why do cows wear bells, Kevin? So they don't get hit by cars.
No, cows wear bells because their horns don't work.
Ha ha ha.
Fuse, we're rating these from 1 to 10. Fuse, your rating there as far as the worst or
Well,
best
like-
dad joke.
I'll put them in order
So
once they're done.
dad jokes are bad, right? So that was really bad. So that's good. It's got to be like an 8.69.
Wow. Nice.
Oh, he gave a very accurate rating. I've never done that. Okay. Drew,
Cool. All right.
1 to 10 there, buddy.
I'm gonna have to wait until they're all done, and I'll put them in order.
Okay, I like that.
Do I get
You know
to-
what?
I'm going to rate that one a 9.
Wow. Okay, keep it
Wow,
simple.
I'm glad I'm
Got
giving
it,
mine
boys.
later because I would
Keep
give
it
it a
simple.
lot lower than you guys. So this is awkward.
Kevin also will tell you that I am very harsh on his dad jokes. Like I will rate them very shitty if they're very
I'm
shitty.
telling. I put a decent amount of work into this, and it seems like the times where I'm like, shit, I need 3 dad jokes, and I just recycle one that I've known forever. They do better, and I put little effort into anything now, and this is why. It's all your fault, Shorty.
Kevin and I did dad jokes one day on the radio, and I literally rated it like a 3, and he hung up on me, like right. He was like, "I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore." It just
This isn't
stop
happening
doing this."
anymore, man. I'm not being just ridiculed by you and your shitty
How many
taste in
dad jokes
music.
do we have here, Kevin?
I've got 3 total, so that was our first one.
All right.
The second one, I've heard recently, this is actually some more news, that keeping tropical fish at home can have a calming effect on your brain.
Okay.
So, you keep your fish in a tank, right? Apparently, it's due to all the endorphins. That's the laugh I want. That's the laugh I want.
Well, that's not. That's not an applause. Sorry. Fuse, your rating there for the dad joke for Kevin.
That was like a 3.33333333333.
That was pie.
Drew's
By
saving-
1.4.
Drew's
after-
saving
what was
his.
What was after
I
3?
give that pie.
33333333333.
3333333.
3333. Got it.
I'm gonna rate that one a 3 as well.
3.3.
Just a 3. Just straight 3.
I'm actually just gonna give it a 1. I'm
it
just
simple.
gonna
Alright,
jump
cool.
out ahead and be like, that's a 1.
Yeah, Drew doesn't even want to wait to give me the 1.
All right, your final
Part
dad.
of the fun.
Final
Part of the
da-
fun.
Final dad joke of the day here.
All right, this is actually one of my favorites. Why did the old lady fall in the well? Because she couldn't see that well. Look at Drew. Drew just fell asleep. It's so bad.
Oh, God.
Let's have my concert. Let's have my final rap concert.
If you could, we should make Spotify playlists that you would like to have at your funeral. Like honestly, I think
I
that'd be
have the
something
song. I
interesting
tell
to
them.
see.
Oh, now you guys are gonna make me put me on the spot. But I have the song.
Until the day I die.
Well, we
No.
can't play it on the
I
show
think
because we'll
that-
get copyright.
Right,
there,
right,
but
because
yeah.
of copywriting.
All right, well, now I gotta think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, we can't.
I have 2.
We're
I have
probably already
2.
gonna be ripped down off of YouTube for showing a dead guy on the video. So
Frank Sinatra, I did it my way. You gotta have that one.
It's a good
Okay.
one.
yeah.
And then
Okay.
number 2 would be the Flaming Lips. Do you realize? I have a couple more, but those are the 2 that I can remember off the top.
What are you listening these for? Sorry, I was reading dirty dad jokes online, trying to find a good one for you.
Nice. Like music you would have at your funeral that would be like atypical, but like if you were trying to put together a fire playlist, like what if we start doing?
Mine would be
funerals and
50 Cent, Many Men.
weddings?
That would be my fucking
Deep
funeral
cuts,
song.
boys. Deep cuts. Hell yeah.
Deep cut
Many
boys,
men
that's for sure.
wish death upon me.
I wish funerals. I hope like will funerals change when we die? Like, can we have a party
Yes.
rather than
Yep.
just a
I'm only having a
somber-
party. It will be in.
Yeah.
It will
Yeah.
be in my my will. Party only. If anybody's crying, you're cut. You get escorted
Just
out.
cremate me
You ha-
and
no, they
fucking
get escorted out.
party with me.
Yeah, I had we used to do like theme parties in college and stuff, right? I feel like it all started with Halloween stuff, but I don't know, like I loved Crayola parties where everybody would wear just one color, but I always had the idea of doing a funeral party where you just play like real somber music and everybody just like drinks out of flasks and like tries to hide it from each other and just dresses in black, and it's like in theory the worst party ever, but
the best.
the best at the same time,
The
like a
Crayola
totally
party.
different idea.
You described it the way that I was not envisioning it. I was thinking
Oh, really?
everybody brings like a poster board or something that then and a whole thing of colors, and you all draw something while you're sitting around drinking.
That would actually be super fun too, like an arts and crafts party. Like bring your favorite colored pencils.
Crayola party.
This show.
This is where we're dipping. We're dipping.
The show is going off the rails. You can find them at drewandfuse.com. By the way, I love the intro. I love the song as well.
Love this song.
Love the song so much. Who did the intro song for the Drew and Fuse show?
I'll tell the story. I was at Fuses. I flew into Fuses. I did a wedding in Columbus, and I went up and hung out with Fuse. And next thing I know, we bought tuxedo shirts. We had planned a photo shoot. Basically, we're coming out of his what do you call it? Hotel, or not your hotel? It's like a
My
hotel.
condo.
It's like a hotel.
Yeah, condo building.
And we're walking out, and this lady goes, "Boy, you guys clean up nicely," as a total joke. And we both started laughing because we're wearing tuxedo shirts, dressed like a bunch of assholes. And then we go downtown, and Fuse hires this guy who is probably going to do every photo shoot that I do from now on because he's amazing. But Fuse hires this guy. We get there, and he goes, "I'm getting a '90s Beastie Boys vibe," and I'm like, I didn't even hire you, but you're hired. And next thing he knows, he starts guiding us. And I texted Phrase, and I was like, "Hey, make a make a theme song that says Drew and Fuse show. Just say it a bunch of times, and they clean up nicely, just as a joke." And the whole song is based off of the Lego song.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. And so he made I was
Love
like,
it.
make a fucking the catchiest song you've ever heard, and off of Everything is Awesome. And that's what it is.
That's amazing.
You can
That's,
find.
I love.
Oh, sorry, go.
I was just gonna say I love the scooters in like the intro reel. Like you guys really just, you can tell you had fun, and it's a great setup for what your show is, which is just like a super fun thing to listen to. I just, on my way to the weddings this past weekend, I listened to Warren's Part 2, which was super informative and makes me want to throw a block party. And then Team Ragoza, man, that was awesome. I love
So good.
Ragoza's rant. I put it up on my Instagram story because I had just jokingly made like an Instagram story about how I got gas and I didn't have to post how much money I spent on it because, imagine that you can do things day to day and not just put negativity in everybody's fucking face. I'm like super big on that. And that's why I vibe with a lot of, that's what I love about our culture is we all just get together and bullshit about fun stuff. And nobody's like sitting around Thanksgiving dinner table bitching about work or, politics or anything like that.
Unless
Like,
it's
man,
Howard
it's so
Stern,
fun.
and then I fucking hate you.
Unless it's Howard Stern, then Fuse gets super triggered, and we love that, dude. It was cool to see you be able to rant. What's like with you guys doing your show? What's like your favorite thing to kind of something that you want to talk about that you always ask other people? Like you guys do all these cool segments, and I feel like you miss out on them a little bit.
One of the things that we can say is that, with the segments, the things that we think are like not big deals are things that like are big deals to other people and that are listening. So sometimes we have to rethink about how we want to introduce stuff or talk about things because, we're sitting here all the time and we just take I don't want to say that like we're like elite DJs. That's not what I'm trying to say. But like, when you've been doing something for 15 years, you just don't think of it the same as somebody who's maybe only been doing it for a couple of years. So it's like
Yeah.
we have to take a couple steps back sometimes and go, well, explain this like a guy, that hasn't been DJing so long or whatever, because we say
Yeah.
things sometimes and it's like you just assume that kind of everybody knows what you're talking about. But then it's like, no, you have to kind of pull yourself back, and that's one thing that I would say that,
Yeah, and that's sort of the charm of like having a show that it's something that everybody listens to,
Yeah.
right? Versus just a DJ culture, and that's definitely like you talk about the like in the Super Bowl, right? The sportscasters, how dumbed down everything is because more people are watching, and it's not week 15 of the regular season. You're now talking to millions of people that never watched another game the entire season. So you kind of got to explain rules a little bit differently, or just the verbiage of it all. But yeah, I mean, you guys are super entertaining to listen to. You obviously have incredible guests on all the time. I can't talk enough about how interesting it was to hear the insides and outs of Team Ragosa, and they literally got
It's
together like right
fascinating,
before
dude.
COVID and are married and are like the dream team right now.
Fascinating.
So
Yeah,
yeah, definitely hear that one. I gotta go back and watch it too.
So
yeah. I mean,
fascinating.
honestly, like, and thank you guys for just being like, again, a guy that went from one industry full time to now this. You guys have just been so kind of open arms. Drew and Fuse, when we saw each other at Mex, it was on that dance floor in that club or whatever, and we were all just kind of like talking podcast stuff. And even Demand said I don't know if you heard him, but he's like, "Ooh, look at all those podcasters over there!" Like they were just kind of like making fun of us, like all chatting. But Drew and I were talking about like podcast stuff about just the geeky stuff of like what we use for our videos and podcasts. And Drew, I don't know if you remember this, but you remember just pulling Fuse and
Of
going,
course
"Hey,
I do.
listen to this," and just like literally, he goes, "Hey, listen to this kid," and like I started talking to Fuse about just some stuff we use behind the scenes. Fuse took out his phone and grabbed his notepad and starts just jotting down notes in the middle of a club of people playing music. And he's like, I need to know some more information. I need to know this stuff." And I honestly was about to just give him my number and be like, "Yo, just call or text me anytime. I'm happy to like talk about, whatever you need."
And when my
And I
girlfriend asked if I got any numbers out there, I couldn't have said no.
Hey,
Hey, wait.
Well,
Actually,
well,
I will say something about this is, you know, people think that we're unreachable or we're doing this and we're too cool. It always bummed me out when I thought, at least in my head, that I couldn't reach out to somebody that was bigger than me and just be like, "Yo, let me ask you this super dumb question." As long as you come
yeah.
somewhat correct and you ask me, I'm the nicest person ever. I'll always
literally.
go above and beyond and just say, "Yeah, I mean," but if you don't want if you don't want actual truth, then don't ask me because I will be honest.
That
Well,
is, yeah,
and
yeah.
I think too, like I'm still I don't know. I'm the type of guy that I have a hard time like just approaching people. I saw you guys at DJX, like you're passing out DMS
Well, we hung out
hats,
before that,
and
dude. We hung out in Greenville.
no, that was after. So it was Atlantic City, and then you came to Greenville.
Yeah.
So like once you came to Greenville, and me, and Justin, and Arlie, and all of us hung out. Of course, I felt a little more apt to like approach you in Vegas. Fuse and I play Call of Duty together every now and then, so like
Yeah.
there's that. So now I have these like, connections, and I'm glad that I have that now. But I appreciate you guys being able to just be open and talk about either podcasting or the DJ stuff. And it's the same like with me. I'm a nobody, man. No one knows me. And I think the funny part is like people were listening to the podcast, the Joe Bun episode, and people were coming up like to me reciting certain things that were in the show. And um I think that's just such a cool part that all four of us can play in this role of the community of just like making people laugh, but also giving people the knowledge of the DJ community. And again, I learned so much from the both of you, from the three of you. And so just, I appreciate all that.
I will say this.
Thanks. One of the things.
Go ahead. No,
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead,
you
Drew.
go. Fuse, go.
I was going to say one of the things that I know, and Drew will agree on this. One of the things that we really try to do is we want to tell it like it is without smoke and mirrors on the show. There's a lot of guys that want to act like way bigger than they actually are, and that's the is tons of smoke and mirrors. And I don't
But I
want
also
that to be.
I didn't mean to
Yeah.
cut you off. I also think there are people that we think are bigger and that we're scared to reach out to. I'll say the biggest, how do I say this? So I was doing the podcast and interviewing people, and I get this text, and it was like, "Yo, bro, this is the best podcast I've been listening to. Like, keep doing what you're doing. Like, just gassing me up." It was a random number. I had no clue, and I was also hungover as fuck in Vegas the next morning, and and then it said DJ Demand gave me your number. By the way, I hope that's okay. And I texted Demand. I was like, "Who is?" And I gave the number out, and he goes, "Oh, that's Jeff Scott Gould, sorry." And I was like, "Wait, what?"
Oh shit.
And I was like, "This is a guy who I admire. Like the
course.
video work that he does, just but that guy is like a content king when it comes to just finding different ways to make Instagram reels or YouTube videos or vlogs or whatever. Like, I admire this man so much. So to get that text message from a guy who I thought was unreachable, I just blew my mind. It really did. And so just the fact that I can always reach out to you guys again, I just appreciate that. And just bringing me into the community as a whole as just someone that came from radio and is now entrenched in this wedding world and is loving what I'm doing.
Well,
And learning from you guys.
I want to add something to what you're just saying. Any DJ, period, that is giving to the community, everyone in the community will be like, "Oh, I know who you are. I got your back," and they'll help you out, right? But if you're just leeching and stealing and copying, then we don't got a lot of time for you, right? That's where it's cutting off. But look, if someone is just trying, just try a little bit. Go original, and then put out some shit. Who cares? Put out some shit. Just do you.
Yeah.
And people will flock, or it'll come. Is all I'm saying is.
Well, I think it's like with this show, I think we're just all we're just throwing stuff at the wall. We're seeing what sticks, what we have to come back to the drawing board and figure out, how do we change stuff, and again, I just being the nerd that I was on that dance floor at night of talking, screaming to you, we use Riverside and this shit's the shit, and you jotting it down in your notepad. I'm glad I'm able to have that conversation and be kind of that nerdy guy that I truly am.
Well,
and the same with the two of you. I'm glad you guys reach out to us for advice. And
Fuse is gonna have to hit
and I
you
love
back
it,
up because we tried the Riverside
Yeah.
and it just did not. It was not working, and I'm still struggling with what
sucked
we
at
got.
it.
But
So we sucked at it the first 2 episodes. We were still figuring it all out. And then we finally got in. We finally figured some stuff out, and even the clips that were posted. I'll talk to you guys off the air. It's the audience now is just we don't care. Speaking of, we are going to be on the Drew and Fuse show, and you can of course subscribe to them on YouTube. Just find the Drew and Fuse show. You can go.
You guys are on Spotify too. That's where I've been listening.
yeah,
Spotify,
check them there.
Apple, we're on them all.
Everywhere,
all
right?
the
It's so easy to
podcast
put
apps.
stuff out everywhere.
DrewandFuse.com. Drew and Fuse, appreciate you guys being on. You can always subscribe to this show on YouTube. Just search the Radio Shorty Podcast with DJ Hi Kevin, either on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And boys, thank you guys so much for being on the show. We love you guys so much.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you, boys. Seriously, super fun.
So fun.
And also, don't leave yet because we need to make sure to capture your audio.
Right, we got to make sure it's all uploaded. Yeah.
I'm gonna freeze.
Oh, should I hit stop?
You got to stop. Yeah, you're the host.
I do have to do that.